Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Joe with Boys and There's Toys. So we're back on the Silverado, the 2024. I posted like maybe a month and a half ago. I don't have a garage space, so it's been cold and I've been so lazy I didn't want to work on it on the outside. So here we are. This is where we're kind of left. I took off the fenders, both sides, to kind of assess the damage. I mean, they were damaged anyway. I had to remove them. I did buy, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I did buy a bunch of parts for the front end. I pretty much got the whole front end as a kit: bumpers, fascia, pretty much everything except the grill, which was good. Headlights and everything, that's all in there. I did put the mirrors on. So it's all aftermarket stuff, you know. Going to GM and buying this stuff, it'd be way more than it's worth. So I got some cheapo aftermarket mirrors, same on the other side. I did pick up a used door. I don't know if I mentioned that on last one, but I did install the door. Just ignore that. Don't worry about that. Body shop's gotta take care of that after I'm done putting all the parts on, because I'm trying to save money doing this. But the door is on now. I actually got a handle, and this one came with the whole door glass and everything. This glass is tinted, so I'll swap it out or remove it. And then there's the aftermarket mirror. Its fitment's okay. I mean, you can see the seal is pretty shitty, but otherwise it's not too bad. You know, there's very minimal damage. It's, you know, so far the damage what I've seen is here. Those kind of bent back and these bent, and then of course just the damage on the bumper and stuff. Same thing on this side. This bent, I don't know if you can see that. This bent back this way, and it kind of pushed all this down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, and then probably just put a jack under here and kind of lift this up a little bit because it bent down. Or I'll just take the BFH and kind of tap it back straight, because it's supposed to be pretty straight, kind of like 90 degrees. I mean straight, not, this is 90 degrees and this is like 45, so it kind of bent. And then, you know, just a little bit of pieces here. You know, you can move this stuff with your hand. This is the fender mount. Not a big deal. This doesn't appear to be bent. If that's the shape of it, it does look like it's bent from looking at it. But the other side kind of has the same shape. So just this, those two pieces at the bottom. I got everything in the kit. It was an aftermarket kit. It came with a black bumper, all the lower fascia, I don't know what you want to call them, spoiler, pan covers. I'm not sure what it was, what you want to call it. But then I bought some headlights. I got aftermarket fenders, and then the grill. I'm going to reuse the original grill. There was only a little tiny crack on it in the corner. I'll just plastic weld that. And then there's another piece, and then kind of the top radiator cover, that was still good. There was no damage there. So that's the issue with the body I'm having. But the biggest issue is the truck is not running. So my first post on this was, did I get scammed? So I'm just gonna, you know, confirm that for you guys. Yes, I did. It wasn't Copart's fault. So how it worked was, I bought this truck from Copart, in the local Chicago South Copart, and it was advertised as not running, and obviously with the crash damage. So it was also advertised with a clean title. So how it works is I am not a dealer. I don't have an automotive dealership. Here in Illinois, other states, I'm not sure how that works, but here in Illinois, you can't really buy anything on Copart without a dealer's license. You have to register, you have to show proof, and all that other stuff. So you have to go through a broker if you want to buy something. And that broker was Auto Bidmaster. It's like, I guess it's an Oregon company. And they are the brokers. They have the license. They can bid on everything. They're bidding on your behalf. You're going in. You're paying Auto Bidmaster a yearly fee, and then you can go on the Copart auctions through Bidmaster and bid on them. And when you win, you obviously pay the price of the auction, plus tack on probably another $1,000 in fees, and some of those fees go to Auto Bidmaster for being the broker. So that's not the problem. I've bid on many stuff with Auto Bidmaster on Copart, and the problem was most of the stuff I bid on, the stated salvage title, and I got a salvage title with it. This particular truck said clean title, and Auto Bidmaster received the title from Copart, and then Auto Bidmaster turned that clean title into a salvage title and then mailed it to me. So right there, that was the scam that I got. So I lost a substantial amount of money just from going from clean title to salvage title. So now I got to go through the whole ordeal here to fix the truck and then bring it to an auto rebuilder here in Illinois, because in Illinois you cannot, as a personal owner, non-business owner, you cannot have a salvage inspection here. You have to go through a dealer, an auto rebuilder. So that's what I have to do. I got to fix the truck, and then once it's fixed, then I got to bring it over to the body shop / rebuilder license, and they're going to do all the body work, and then they're going to charge me to do the whole rebuilt title inspection, and then it takes 6 to 8 weeks once it's approved for me to get my rebuilt title so I can actually drive this. So that's pretty much why I said, did I get scammed? And unfortunately, I did. And it wasn't Copart's fault. It was Auto Bidmaster, and I'm pretty pissed at them because I've purchased many 6, 7, 8 vehicles from them, and this is not the first time they did it. The first time they did it, I bid on a motorcycle with a clean title, and I did receive a salvage title, but at that point I was I didn't care because the frame was damaged on that motorcycle, so I couldn't do anything with it anyway. But I did lose money on that one as well because it went from clean to salvage. So I ended up selling that for parts to recoup my money. This particular truck, I was thinking about selling it for parts to recoup my money, but I put a feeler out there, and everybody was nickel and diming me. I'll give you 100 this, 200 that. I'm like, I've got over $10,000 into it just from the auction and getting it here, because it was supposed to be a clean title. So the second it went to salvage, I lost half my money. So you could have bought this truck with a salvage title, not running and crash damage, for probably $5,000 at the auction, and I paid double that. And now it's got a salvage title, so I got to go through that whole ordeal. But enough of the ranting. We're gonna move on, and I'm working hard to fix this, but like I said, it's sitting outside. We're in Chicago. I'm in Chicago, and it's been 10, 15, 20 degrees, and with no shelter for me to work in. I'm old, I'm overweight, and I can't be doing that anymore. I'm not a young guy, so here I am working on it outside. Today was surprisingly nice, almost 50 degrees and sunny, so I'm working on it now. I'm pretty much at a standstill with the body. I'm not going to worry about the body right now. Now I got to go into the non-running aspect. So, to that, I did bring this truck to the the Chevy dealer, and I towed it there. I couldn't figure it out why it wouldn't prime or anything. So I brought it to the Chevy dealer, and they replaced the power disc on top of the battery because they said it was shorted, which I knew because I was jumping it. I was jumping this terminal here to power it up. So that was replaced. That stupid part was $500, just the part, and then diagnosis was an hour or two. So they got me for another $400 or something like that, $300 in labor to diagnose it and replace that part. And then they programmed the key, which I already paid for with a mobile mechanic. So that was wasted money. And then they charged me another $500 or $400 in diagnosis to find out the engine had low compression, which I already knew. That's not what I wanted them to work on. I wanted them to figure out why it wasn't powering up, the fuel pump wasn't coming on, none of the locking mechanisms were working with the remote. So it was essentially not powering up, and the car or the truck does not start by pushing the button when you have the key in your hand. You have to put the key in that little slot underneath the console to get it to crank over. So that's why I brought it there, and they didn't even check any of that. And then when I went to go pick it up, I asked the service writer, "Hey, does it crank over now with the button and the remote without doing all that crap by putting it in the little center console, little notched for the key?" And he's like, yeah. I was like, "What about the fuel pump? The fuel pump actually turns on now?" He's like, yeah. I mean, the service writer was just telling me, yeah. And I go and pick up the truck and brought it back home because I had to tow it back home because they gave me a $45,000 quote for another engine. $45,000. Ridiculous. I was like, wow. So I ended up paying them $1,100 to replace the power distribution on top of the battery and diagnosis. So it was like $700 worth of diagnosis to tell me it had low compression and replace the power distribution. So after getting screwed over by Auto Bidmaster, the Chevy dealer just screwed me over. So $1,100 right down the crapper. I call it $700 right down the crapper because they did replace the $500 part, and I was just shocked it was $500. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm getting double whammied everywhere. I got a lot of money into this truck, and I'm definitely going to lose. There's no doubt about it. But my goal is to actually use this truck for work. So either way you go, it's a lose-lose. So I'm gonna lose either way, and at least I'll be able to use it for work if I can get it changed over to a salvage or a rebuilt title after inspection. So engine time. Engine is not running, and it never heard this thing run. It never ran, and here's why it doesn't. So I pulled the cover off. Well, first of all, I pulled the spark plugs, coils, and all that, just to spin it over easier. I mean, this engine has a lot of crap on top of it, and it's got the high pressure pump, and then that high pressure pump goes all over here by the intake. And then you got all these solenoids that control the cam that slides back and forth for different lift points and cylinder deactivation. It's just a freaking disaster back here. I mean, crazy technology in this little 4-cylinder engine, but the problem is I pulled the cover off to check the timing, and this engine you can't really check timing. It's a special tool, which I gotta find. That's why I'm at a standstill right now. I'm gonna pull the cover off and just see what the cams look like, because I'm just hoping the little followers aren't damaged or the cams aren't damaged, and this thing just had a little mishap. So here's the mishap. There's pieces of metal right here. I believe it's aluminum, and I'll show you why. But this is the intake cam or phaser or whatever the hell you want to call it. 1, 2, and 3. The screws backed out. I believe the screws are on the inside of this phaser, and they snapped and came out, and then just started eating up the cover. So here's the cover. Here's the cover. This is the intake, and this bolt snapped, was sticking out of the cam phaser, and was just going and just tearing everything up. And the other 2 bolts, no clue where they're at. So my guess is they're sitting at the bottom of the actual pan. But this is here's the chunks of aluminum that have been scraping on. I mean, this engine has 21,000 miles. 21,000 miles. And my guess is the owner of this truck heard this noise, just kept driving it, and then eventually the engine just stopped or failed, and then the truck sat outside and then probably got hit while it was parked, and that's how it ended up at Copart. But there is the damage I have found. And I mean, these engines been around since 2019 in the Colorados, I believe. And I'm hoping I can find a timing tool for an affordable price, because I mean, if I have to bring this to the Chevy dealer again just to time the damn thing, this is going to get pricey. Another option would be, which I don't want to do, is purchase a used motor and swap it out. That's a big ordeal to do in my damn driveway, and I do not want to have to do that. If I can fix this engine, I will. But that's where we're at right now. Carnage. You know, once I pull the valve cover or cam cover, whatever you want to call it, I'll confirm. I'll make another video. Hi, Polly. Say hi. That's my new rescue dog. So we've had her for about 7 months. But that's the situation I'm in right now. I'll guess I'm gonna have to start searching, see if I can find that timing tool, because I looked online and there's no timing marks on this engine. This yellow line, these yellow links mean nothing, and all it says is E and I for intake, exhaust and intake. There's no marks, no reference points, nothing. And the chain is tight, so that's a good thing. So I'm hoping it's just this cam phaser, and I could replace that, drain the oil, and I don't know if you could pull the pan on these. I'll have to check, but that'll be at a later time. You know, pray once it's running that nothing gets sucked up into the pickup, because I'm hoping those bolts are still there, but I doubt it, because they're gone. They're just gone, and that other one just snapped. Whatever the head of the bolt was, that's gone, and then the bolt slowly started walking outward and just eating the case. So that's where I'm at. Just lovely. So far is a $15,000 disaster for a truck I could probably have purchased good running condition, clean title, with, you know, probably not 20. With 21,000 miles, it'd probably cost me $25K to buy this truck. But I mean, I could have bought one with 100,000 miles for probably 15,000 or less. So it's a bummer, and I got to work on it too. So such is life. Please like and subscribe, share it. I mean, I'll see you guys next time.